went to Stanford doesn't necessarily mean you will. Today, Governor Newsome signed a bill that would ban legacy admissions at private universities in California that benefit from state funding.
The governor said admission into university should be based on merit, skill, and hard work. KCRA3's Sarah McGrew talked to students in Palo Alto who call this a welcome change.
AB 1780 will change how the admissions office at Stanford operates. And Stanford students I talked to say it will only make for a more equitable campus.
If you're meant to get in, I feel like you should get in and not on just the fact that your parents got in.
It's only been 2 weeks, but Stanford freshman Noella Quazira is enjoying her time on campus, especially after all the hard work she did in high school to get here.
Coming from like an immigrant household and things like that, and just like it's always like kind of things that you have to fight against and things like that.
No one else in her family has ever attended Stanford, and she doesn't believe family connections should give anyone the upper hand.
It would be better if you were getting in off your own merit.
Stanford alum and legacy student Sophie Calcott agrees.
It was something kind of shameful because even though, most legacy students, pretty much every legacy student who gets into a school like Stanford is academically qualified to be there, there feels like there's a sense of, but no, you're not.
That's why as a student, she worked with the nonprofit Class Action and advocated for a ban on legacy admissions.
But certainly I could feel the gasps in the room from the lawmakers when I was the first person in line to say, I'm a legacy student and I support AB 1780.
But it's far more than just reassuring legacy students they deserve to be on campus. She says it's about creating more diverse and equitable campus communities and making sure everyone that deserves to be in the classroom has a seat.
As we go into the future, as more students of every background get access to, education that will prepare them to make a fantastic application for Stanford, and then they won't be arbitrarily blocked.
Reporting in Palo Alto, Sarah McGrew, KCRA3 News.
Well, this just got very interesting because I'm going to be completely honest with you. I never thought I'd see the day when a state would actually ban legacy and donor admissions to private and nonprofit universities. Considering all the stuff we have talked about last year and within the last year, even the last couple of months when it came to affirmative action, I remember when they kept saying that they were going to try to go after legacy admissions. I said, uh-oh. See, the thing is with the affirmative action thing, that was supposed to be one thing, but y'all was not supposed to go after legacy admissions, is like leave that alone. But now California, the state of California, one of the biggest states in the establishment, has banned it across the board. Now this is coming from, of course, Gavin Newsome, and I already had some choice words about him and still have some choice words about him. But Gavin Newsome has basically signed into law, or a bill at the very least, that it's going to ban legacy admissions. And I said, we know what group is going to be upset about that, because we know what group benefits from legacy admissions the most. So what I'm about to do is read actually the official letter coming from the governor website that was posted on September 30th, 2024. It says, Governor Gavin Newsome today announced that he has signed AB 1780 by Assembly Member Phil Ting to prohibit legacy and donor preferences in the admissions process for private nonprofit institutions. Legacy status and donor preferences have long been excluded from the state's public university admission process. The University of California system eliminated legacy preferences in 1998. In California, everyone should be able to get ahead through merit, skill, and hard work. The California dream shouldn't be accessible to just a lucky few, which is why we're opening the door to higher education wide enough for everyone fairly. The U.S. Supreme Court issued a ruling last summer restricting the use of race in college admissions. In light of this shift, proponents of AB 1780 advocated for admissions criteria that additionally ensure that factors like wealth or personal relationships do not unduly influence admissions decisions. AB 1780 aims to ensure that admissions decisions are based on merit rather than personal connections, reducing biases in the admissions process at private colleges in California. Under the new law, all private colleges and universities in the state must submit an annual report to disclose compliance. So they're basically telling you, don't think you're going to backdoor this thing and slip somebody in through the legacy admissions and we're not going to know. They said we want to report at the end of the year, annually rather, saying, you know, for every student that comes through your doors, and we're going to find out, and you better not try it because we might snatch some financial incentives away from you if you do. Now, this next statement that I'm about to read is coming from Assembly Member Phil Ting. He said, if we value diversity in higher education, we must level the playing field. That means making the college application process more fair and equitable. Hard work, good grades, and a well-rounded background should earn you a spot in the oncoming class, not the size of the check of your family can write or who you're related to. I thank the governor for agreeing with me and supporters of AB 1780 that every student deserves a fair shot at their dream school. Now, it goes on and it has a checklist that Gavin Newsome put out there, and it's called Governor Newsome's efforts to improve access to higher education. The first one reads, 2 years of free community college, provided up to 2 years of community college tuition free for first-time, full-time students and other eligible returning students. Debt-free college for foster students, expanded the middle class scholarship to include the Fostering Futures program covering students with experience in foster care to cover tuition, fees, and other related expenses enrolled at CSU and UC. Financial aid application requirement. Required high schools to certify that their seniors complete the FAFSA or the CADAA, ensuring that federal and state financial aid dollars are not left on the table by students in need. College affordability. Major investments in college affordability, including support for the development of $2.1 billion to build affordable student housing at UC, CSU, and the community college. $115 million for open educational resources at the California community colleges. $637.2 million to revise and strengthen the middle class scholarship program, and efforts pursue zero-cost textbooks courses and make the College Core program permanent. Higher education opportunity for people with intellectual disabilities, signed AB 447 to encourage CSU and UC to establish and maintain inclusive college programs for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities to promote inclusion, employment, and independent living. The last one reads NCAA name, image, and likeness. Signed legislation giving student athletes in California the ability to benefit financially from their name, image, and likeness, which is something they've been trying to do for quite some time now as far as the college athletes making money. This was the first law of its kind in the nation, and it led to the NCAA to change its rules in July of 2021. So that's the entire checklist right there, and that's also the entire article. So hey, it is what it is. Y'all thought that getting rid of affirmative action and that legacy admissions wasn't going to be touched. I'm like, you do realize that they're kind of linked. They operate a little bit differently, but they're linked to each other, because remember, they were trying to go after legacy admissions almost immediately after they overturned affirmative action. I vaguely remember that because I talked about it and I said, oh, you know they're about to have a fight about that. But what's scary about this is, for those who would benefit from it, is that this is happening in California. I always believe in the domino effect. It's only going to be, in my opinion, a matter of time before other states follow suit that adhere to the legacy admissions thing. Oh, if that thing gets to North Carolina, because that was one of the states that was adamant on pushing back against them trying to get rid of it, is going to be real messy, to say the least.